A very good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Simon Lockyer, and today I'm joined by my colleagues Amos Sharon, Sarah Lowen, and Sally Burrows. Sally will be taking us through today's webinar, and on behalf of all of the team, I'd like to sincerely thank you for your attendance and tell you how grateful we are that you have been able to come by today. We appreciate that we're taking some time out of your day. What I'll do now is hand over to Sally, who'll be taking you through today's presentation. Over to you, Sally.
Thank you, Simon, and I would also like to thank everyone for joining the webinar today. I know it's often hard to take time out of your busy day. So I'd just like to start off with a very heartfelt and grateful thank you to all of our helpers. You've all been absolutely amazing during this COVID situation, and we know that you've been reading and acting upon all of the updates we've been sending, and everyone has certainly adapted quickly to working in line with our standard operating procedure. But above all, throughout this time, helpers really have remained committed to supporting their members, which is at the heart of what 5 Good Friends is all about. And it's just nice to know that during this difficult time, we really have been able to stay true to our values. So you may have seen on our Facebook page that we have been encouraging people to acknowledge your efforts and join a round of applause to clap a care worker, as we've been seeing happen all around the world at the moment. So far, I think as of yesterday, we'd hit 3,620 claps and still counting. And this is truly well-deserved recognition for you all. So please check out our Facebook page if you'd like to join in the round of applause. All right, I'll just quickly run through the agenda for the webinar today so you know what's coming up. Firstly, I'll go through an update on our standard operating procedure for you. Then we'll move into the main focus of this webinar and talk through the new contactless and reduced contact protocol and competency that we are releasing, as well as some of the new services that we've developed for helpers to offer members during this time. Got some good news to share about a temporary increase in NDIS price limits, which will certainly benefit helpers. Then we've got an update on PPE and where that situation is at with our stocks. We've had a few common questions from helpers recently about flu vaccinations, so we'll try to clear those up for everyone during this webinar. And finally, I will just go through a bit of a reminder about the importance of checkout notes during this time. All right, so we'll get into it. So firstly, just the update on our SOP. So we went over this quite thoroughly in the previous webinar, which is still available to view on the Helper Hub for anyone that might have missed it. And this is the document that is providing guidance to all 5 Good Friends workers on how to safely deliver services during the COVID outbreak. So we continue to develop the document as the situation progresses. And since the previous webinar, we've had a few updates. So one of the key updates is scenario 1. So in the previous webinar, we went through all the different scenarios, but now scenario 1 in the SOP has been split into part A and B. So scenario 1 both refer to providing care for members who are not showing signs of COVID, but part B is specific to members who are in a residential village or a care facility that is in voluntary quarantine or lockdown with no confirmed cases. Please just make sure that you've reviewed the most recent version of the SOP. As always, the link is available on our Helper Hub, which you can refer to at any time if you need to. Okay, contactless and reduced contact protocol and competency assessment. The 5 Good Friends team have been developing this protocol and competency over the past few weeks to further support our members and helpers. And today we've got it ready to share with our helpers, and next week we'll be providing an update to our members. So why have we introduced this new protocol and competency? Well, we continue to be guided during this absolutely unprecedented situation by the words that the Federal Minister for Aged Care shared with us recently. So, so to quote his words, it is critical that we keep people who work in the aged and disability care industries working so we can continue to look after and care for our loved ones. So you as an individual and we as a team are an important part of this industry at a very important time. And we want to make sure that we are able to operate and serve the members we help and helpers that we support as best we can. So that's what's driving this and really all of the actions that we're taking during this time. So just continuing on with why we've introduced this. So this protocol and competency, it builds upon our existing SOP. So it's not replacing anything in there. It's simply, that's still our guiding tool. So these protocol are a valuable addition and they're there to assist helpers specifically in learning how to reduce or eliminate contact when providing care services. So we have had some members, who understandably have been nervous about continuing services, or may have made the right decision for themselves to self-isolate. And we want to be able to provide our members with confidence that services can continue in a safe manner. And we decided that the way to do this would be, we want to be able to demonstrate to our members that that helpers have an understanding of and clearly complying with safe and recommended practices. So the easiest way we thought to do this was to develop a protocol and a mandatory competency assessment, as it's a simple and effective way for us to be able to demonstrate this to our members so that they do feel confident and that they can continue with some of their essential services. So what does the protocol and competency cover? So the protocol and competency assessment covers information such as general social distancing and hygiene guidelines, which we've been regularly communicating to you and you should all be aware of and practicing already. But it also includes contactless and reduced contact practices for visits, including meal preparation, cleaning, companionship, medication support, transportation, all of those services that you're currently providing. So these are practices that you should be using and should be knowledgeable about. We keep hearing about social distancing and restrictions being a new way of life that we all have to accept and practice in general at this time. And this most certainly applies to the work that we do. So these protocols are the standard for how care services must be delivered. And for us, it really will be it's the new norm until further notice. So the way we're viewing it is that every helper on our platform, there's certain things that they must have to be able to be a helper. You need to have a National Police Check certificate. You need to complete our 5 Good Friends induction training. And at this time, in order to be able to do your work and protect yourselves and protect your members, you must also be competent in practicing contactless and reduced contact supports to members. So this is why we've made it a mandatory competency. All right, so I'm sure you're wondering, how do you complete this competency? So the protocol learning and also the competency will be done online via LearnUpon. And you should all be quite familiar with LearnUpon, as that's where we host our online library of learning modules. So you would have done your 5 Good Friends induction on here and also a number of compulsory modules that we have sent out to helpers, and we've got some elective ones there that you may also have completed. So you'll be sent an invitation to this new e-learning module, and that will be coming out in the next few days. So you should have it by Monday the 20th of April. If for any reason you don't receive your email, then please let us know so that we can make sure that, that we get it to you. The module will outline this new protocol that we've developed, and then it will test your understanding. So please make sure you take the time to read it thoroughly and you're not distracted when you sit down to do it. It shouldn't take long. You should be able to complete these in under half an hour. You've got plenty of time to get it done, so you'll have 10 days to complete the competency from the time you receive it, and we'd really like everyone to aim to have it done by the Monday the 27th of April. And once you have completed the module, then this successful completion will be recorded on your helper profile. All right, so now moving on to, we're really excited to share with you a bit about the new services that we've developed for helpers to be able to offer members during this time. So why are we introducing new services? Well, as I just mentioned, some of our members have expressed concerns for their own safety and also that of their helpers in continuing with services during the pandemic. And we have had some members request to cancel services or reduce their services, and of course helpers as well who have preferred not to work during this time for their own reasons. And we completely understand everyone's caution around this and why this has happened, and certainly, do support it. But we've taken on board the feedback, and we have designed a number of new services which specifically address the needs that have been identified by our members and helpers. And we've done this to ensure that those essential services that are needed can be maintained if a member chooses to limit visitation to the home or self-isolate. All of our members have these services for a reason, and we don't want that to go out the window at this time. We want people to be able to feel confident that they can safely have their services that they really do need. The other reason we're introducing these new services is from the helper side of things, to provide you with new opportunities and ways to provide help to 5 Good Friends members at this time. So some of you may have experienced a reduction in some of your hours, or had changes with other jobs that you do. So we want you to be able to feel secure and confident as well in offering these types of services to members. Okay, so what are the new services? Well, we have developed three new services for you to be able to offer your members. The first one there is contactless shopping and delivery. So this is a contactless service that shops for and delivers groceries and medications to our members. So helpers must complete a competency assessment specific to contactless shopping and delivery before being able to offer this service. So this is an additional competency that we're sending out, because it's quite a specific process that you need to follow in providing this service. So I'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. The second service that we're offering is wellbeing check-ins. So this is a new phone or video conference service to maintain contact between isolating members and helpers. And this serves a couple of different purposes. So the first one is, of course, it's great for companionship and members that might be quite isolated at home at the moment. They're used to going out and about. It's great to just have a bit of a chat with them and a check-in, see how they're doing. And of course, for members and helpers that are used to seeing each other, most days or every week and having their regular chats, this is a way for you still to remain connected with each other. And of course, friendship is one of our very important values, and we wanted to be able to continue to provide that during this time. And wellbeing check-ins is a way that we can do that. The other purpose of these check-ins is to be able to continue monitoring the wellbeing of our members. So as helpers, you are the people that know your members best, and certainly they trust you to be able to tell them what's going on for them, how they're feeling, and you can observe for yourself over the phone if a member might not be seeming themselves, or if there's a bit of change there. And we're asking you to document these observations and changes in your checkout notes, just as you would for any visit if you were there in person. The third type of new service that we're introducing is assisted telehealth visits, or telehelp. And this is a new process for our helpers. It's to be able to safely assist members to interact with allied health or medical services remotely, utilising telephone or video conferencing technology. So many of our members, engage allied health services, and it's important that they can continue these during this time where possible. We've actually had a few trials with this already, which have been a great success. with helpers who have assisted some of our members via telehelp with physio appointments, and been able to be there to support them to set it up and complete their exercises. So for our members, it's about having, they might already be having that helper in the home with them, and but they're reducing the number of visitors to the home, maybe by not having that allied health professional in the home. And there are other types of services, we'll be able to deliver, speech pathology appointments, or appointments with dietitians. So, so stay tuned on this. We're really excited about that one. So all of the protocols in relation to the new services and also the general contactless and reduced contact protocol are published on the Helper Hub. They're already there. You can jump online and get started on familiarising yourself with these. This will support your learning, really, so you're getting a head start for when you come to do the online learning modules and competency assessments. These protocols will also, of course, remain on the Helper Hub, so that you can, really easily refer to them at any time from your phone if you are out on a visit and want to check something. So how do I provide the new services? So the first step here is you must learn the protocols. As I said, they're on the Helper Hub. You'll be doing the modules, so this will give you a really good understanding of what they are. For contactless shopping, you must also complete a competency assessment that's specific to this. So you're going to receive 2 email invitations to complete learning modules. So one will be for the protocol, reduced contact, contactless protocol that we just went through, and then a second one for contactless shopping and delivery. Both are very short. As I said, it will take you less than half an hour. So in terms of knowing, how and when you should be providing these services, we will contact you, your care manager or your workforce coordinator, and advise you that your member has requested this service. And you will see the new service types listed in the app that might be relevant to your visits. And these services, they may be in place for an existing visit where your member is choosing to limit or reduce visitation to the home. So maybe they, usually have a shopping visit, but they want to change it to a contactless shopping visit, or you might be doing a wellbeing check-in rather than a companionship visit. Or we may also, reach out to you with an opportunity to provide some of these services to members other than those that you're currently matched to. So there will be opportunities for you to meet new members and to provide these services to people outside of your existing member network. All right, so just a quick update on PPE, personal protective equipment. We've been updating you in our communications that we've been sending out, and as we've been stating, helpers on the 5 Good Friends platform are responsible for ensuring that they have these items with them as equipment required to provide safe and high quality services to our members. You would have seen in one of our previous updates, we did send all helpers an email with an order form for you to be able to order emergency kits of PPE should you need them in a situation where a member does have a suspected or a confirmed case. And to date, we've issued over 220 kits. So hopefully you've all received them in the mail, and thanks everyone for jumping online and being proactive about being prepared should you need this equipment in an emergency. In terms of our stocks, so we have received more stocks of PPE that we had ordered a number of weeks ago are starting to arrive, and we're going to make it available for purchase in the coming days for helpers. So rather than you having to run around to different chemists or hardware stores and things trying to source your own equipment, we want to be able to provide you with one avenue for you to order your supplies and know that they are that they're good quality and what you will be required to use in a situation where it is needed. So we've also, in addition to this, we have dispatched emergency kits of PPE to the 5 Good Friends community nursing team and community leads in the local areas should you need them for members who are showing signs of COVID or have a confirmed diagnosis and have been directed to self-isolate, and that's across all settings. or alternatively, if the member is residing in a residential village or care facility that might be in quarantine or lockdown. So we will have supplies there, in addition to your emergency kits, the supplies that you can order from us and the ones that we have on the ground ready to go in an emergency. So you should be covered and feel secure in that. We've just included this, this resource that's come from the Department of Health, which is a PPE flowchart for when to use PPE. They have made it specific to aged care, but really, it does apply to NDIS as well. So it doesn't replace anything in our SOC, but it's a good, just handy little resource for you to have and to have a little of a read through. It's very clear, and we've posted the link to it on our Helper Hub, so you can jump online there and download it for yourself if you want to have it as a quick resource to refer to. Okay, so very excited to share this with you so NDIS have temporarily increased price limits. So they've also made some changes to the cancellation guidelines. But firstly, so the temporary increase with the price limits. So this is relevant for helpers who support our NDIS funded participants. So the NDIA has temporarily increased price limits by 10% for the following critical supports, which are assistance with daily life, assistance with social and community participation, improved health and well-being, and improved daily living skills. So the agency has deemed that these higher rates are required at this stage for up to 6 months to ensure sustainability of services in these unprecedented times. And as part of our values, the matching is so important between our members and helpers. And if there are reduced hours, we want to make sure that the helpers that are still able to continue working in their role during this time and will be there with their members when we come out the other side of this. So we have updated your rates for the relevant supports automatically, and this is going to be effective from Monday, April 20th. So there's nothing you need to do at your end. If this applies to your NDIS member services, then we will do this automatically. And just in case this question comes up, so our platform fees are remaining the same. There's no change at this time, even though the limit has increased. In terms of short notice cancellations, as we were talking about, lots of members have been, cancelling maybe at short notice at this time while they're figuring out what they're doing and how they want to proceed with services moving forward. So participants are now required to give additional notice for a cancellation as the NDIS participants, and we are automatically charging for services cancelled and not rescheduled for delivery in the same week, so that this gives helpers some financial stability there. This does only apply to the NDIS participants, so no change there around cancellations with our home care package members or our private members. So that cancellation policy is generally still, you can charge for a visit within 24 hours if it's cancelled at short notice. Okay, flu vaccinations. So we have been getting quite a few queries from helpers around this, and hopefully we can answer your questions or any uncertainty around this today. So one of the main questions that we're getting is, as a helper, do I need the flu vaccination? We are strongly urging all helpers to obtain a flu vaccination as soon as possible to protect themselves and their members. Obviously, the flu vaccination will not prevent you from contracting COVID-19. It's unrelated to that, but it will help you avoid influenza and its complications, which is really important. So I know I certainly wouldn't want to have, both COVID and influenza. So anything we can do to prevent that is really beneficial for everyone. It's particularly important at this time of year as well, coming into winter, and our healthcare resources are already stretched because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So every bit that we can do to help with that is valuable. You may also have seen that in the news that the Department of Health have advised that all workers visiting residential aged care facilities must be vaccinated by 1st of May 2020 in order to be able to continue visiting. So this applies to staff, permanent staff that may work in the residential aged care facility, but it also applies for our helpers who might be supporting members who live in those facilities and receive additional services from Five Good Friends. So if this applies to you, then that is something that you would have to obtain, your flu vaccination to continue providing services there. We're also hearing that some retirement villages are implementing the same requirements for visitors working to be vaccinated. And we have had some Five Good Friends members who have requested that to only have helpers who are vaccinated provide their services at this time. Obviously, with the residential aged care restrictions and guidelines, we are absolutely bound by that, and there's no flexibility there. And with retirement villages and members, it is their choice and their decision to make this request, and we have to respect that. So unfortunately, it may have an impact for some helpers that choose not to have the flu vaccination, which is also your choice. We may not be able to match you with members who are living in these villages or who have made the specific request for helpers who are vaccinated. So how do you obtain a flu vaccination? We have offered all helpers free flu vaccinations through our partnered pharmacies. So you should have received your voucher by email in March. If you haven't done so, please let us know. And you should be able to book these online. We are aware, just in general, that there is a shortage of vaccinations available, and they are, sort of arriving staggered deliveries. So we encourage you to source this vaccination by any means, whether it's your GP or other local pharmacies in your area. And you do have to maybe do a bit of groundwork to call around and book yourself in for an appointment as soon as possible. Once you have got your vaccination, then we would ask you if you could please email confirmation of it to recruitment@fivegoodfriends.com.au, and then this document will be recorded on your helper profile. And in terms of what evidence you need to provide or documentation to show that you've had your vaccination, this could be an immunisation record, it could be a receipt that you get from the pharmacy. I've seen that some that are provided with your name on it, could be a letter from your GP. If you've got any questions about this or unsure about the guidelines around the vaccinations, please don't hesitate to contact us, and we'll answer your questions. All right, so just finally here, I just want to chat about notes on checkout. So at this time, your notes are absolutely more important than ever. Please, remember to leave notes about any observed changes you feel your care team should know about, and this might be visits that you notice in person, or if you're doing wellbeing check-ins over the phone, or even if you're doing, a contactless shopping delivery, and you might notice that, the member just doesn't see themselves, or, there's something, that's broken on the property, a wobbly step. Still continue to leave your notes because they are more important than ever. All notes are analysed, of course, by our unique Lookout remote care intelligence technology, which you should all be familiar with, and any concerns that you leave there, that flag notes are brought to the attention of care managers in real time and allow them to respond with appropriate interventions. And this ensures that we can respond quickly and are focused on the right people at the right time. So people are isolating more at home. You're the eyes and ears out in the community. So, you're the ones that are having contact with them at the moment. And it's really important that you report anything to us that you're concerned about, so that we can follow up and provide the support that they may need. If you have an urgent concern for a member, particularly if it's COVID-19 related, then please contact their care manager or Five Good Friends as soon as possible, in addition to your note. So give us a call. Contact details for the team are available in the app, and on-call support is available 24/7. So if you see something out of hours or on a weekend, then please call us on 1300 787 581, or of course you can text on the helper hotline. And finally, just reiterating this point here, that your notes make a real difference. They allow us to intervene early. They allow us to monitor the well-being of our our members, and it's really all for their benefit. So please continue to the great work that you do in documenting any of these changes or concerns that you have. Okay, so that's it from me. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. I hope this webinar was useful and helpful for you, and that you're excited about some of these new offerings that we have. If you have any questions at all, please contact your helper coordinator on our hotline there, 073532 0796, or send us an email at recruitment@fivegoodfriends.com.au, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Sally, and a sincere thank you to everyone who's turned up today. As we said at the outset, we're incredibly grateful for your time. More importantly, we're really grateful for the work that you do. You should know that you make a real and valuable difference to the lives of your members and also their families and loved ones. And you are doing very important work at a very important time. Please do take the opportunity to review the protocols in advance. Please look out for the invitation to accept the e-learning for the competency. And please know that we are doing our absolute best to support you and your members and their families through these unprecedented times. Thanks once again, and we hope you have an enjoyable rest of your afternoon and weekend ahead. Bye-bye.